next technique is a PowerBand technique for the Achilles tendon. So this is very useful with our plantar fasciitis, Achilles tendinopathies, or even some of our calf tears. We know from the research that the more force going through our Achilles, the more going through our plantar fascia as well. So we will generally use a technique that actually absorbs load through that whole system if we're treating a plantar fascia as well. Of course, we may be looking at some of the other biomechanical factors that may be contributing to that, and we may bring something in to decelerate our navicular drop or to try and give us some supination as well. Those things you can consider on top of this. This technique though now is just to absorb some load through that Achilles tendon and then re-inject it back into the system. So what we will do is we've created our PowerBand here using, in this case, 2 layers of 2-inch dynamic tape laminated together. If you're not sure how we've done that, then have a look at the video on creating a dynamic tape PowerBand. With the Achilles, particularly in some of your larger athletes, you may actually even want to laminate 3 layers together to give you some more load absorption still. But then what we're going to do is bring them into that shortened position, attach our PowerBand to the foot, run down through the Achilles region, and then up in onto the calf. Now if you have somebody who has a muscle tear, for example, you can still bring in your gathering up, pinch offload type of techniques, both longitudinally and also with some transverse strips if you like, over the top. But here we'll just do the basic technique to absorb load through that Achilles. So once we have our PowerBand on, we'll then use our 3-inch tape, 7.5 centimetre tape over the top. And what that will do is provide good anchorage on all sides of the tape, both top and bottom and on either side, to give us a nice secure taping application, and it will provide an additional layer of elastic recoil to give us that extra energy absorption as well. So here is the PowerBand that we've created earlier. Once again, we want the person to be in the shortened position. So generally we want the ankle in plantar flexion. If you're doing any of your gathering up techniques through here, then I certainly recommend that you have the knee in some flexion, as well as that will take the gastrocnemius off stretch and allow you to get a much better gathering effect than if you're in full knee extension. Just for the video though, I'll just pop it down into a little bit of knee extension so that you can see a little bit more clearly. So here's our PowerBand that we prepared earlier. Once again, with all these hollow areas around the Achilles and certainly underneath the foot, I do recommend that you just give a light spray with one of your adhesive sprays, as that will give you a more secure taping attachment. Just let that dry for 20 or 30 seconds and get a little bit tacky. Attach your PowerBand to the dorsum of the foot. Just make sure that you leave enough room distally that you can get the attachment of your cover strip over the top. Have them in that plantar flex position once again, and then we're going to run straight down the back. Try and shorten them up through the arch as well, so that we're going to have resistance to that spreading or flattening of the arch when they weight bear on it. You don't need a huge amount of tension on this tape because it's got that double layer. There is a lot more resistance in the tape itself, and as we know, the tape functions best in and around that starting point. This is where we get our best energy absorption and recoil. We're not trying to use it towards the end of its range where we're going to be restricting. We're just trying to use this load absorption and this recoil through here by using this energy in the tape. So put them in that shortened position, stick down. As I say, if you want to do your pinching offload, then by all means do that, but you probably do that with the knee and a little bit of flexion as well. And then stick down. Now if you just bring them slightly into dorsiflexion, you can then smooth that in and around the Achilles region as well. Give it a nice rub, hold those ends and those hollow areas for a good 30 seconds to get the pressure and the heat from the hand to activate the glute. And then also the same in underneath the foot. Now we're going to bring in our cover strip. Now, often if you just apply a full strip, you'll get some gathering up of the corner or the tape as you round the corner here. So the best idea is to just back from the corner to account for your stretch. Cut a little wedge out of either side. Just like so, and that will now allow this to shape a little bit better around the Achilles to give you, once again, a better lasting application. Now remember, because of the increased force in these techniques, we're generally looking at them as short duration applications anyway, for perhaps a match or a training session. We're not looking at having them on necessarily for 4 or 5 days because of the increased force there. Now, we're going to secure this distal, overlap by about 1/2 inch if you can, or 1.5, 1 1/4, 1.5 centimetres on the end to give us a firm application. And that means that we only have one layer of tape at the interface with the skin, which is going to reduce any lifting, particularly in contact sports where people may be being tackled. When you have 2 or 3 edges, it gives a larger surface to be grabbed hold of. Now, shorten them up once again through the arch. Keep your tension on. Okay, now remember again, we're only just lightly tensioning this. There's not a great deal of tension in this, just to that onset of that resistance point. And then just overlap the end as well. You see there, we've just overlapped once again so that there's only one layer of tape at the interface. Once again, if we bring them down a little, it will allow us to smooth that down onto the skin. You can see here now that we have a nice smooth edge. We don't have any gathering up of the tape around that Achilles tendon region. Again, hold those ends, hold these hollow areas for a good 30 seconds or so. Give it a very good rub all over to make sure that you get nice adhesion at the outset, and then it will last you very well. You may find that you want some additional load absorption through here, or even perhaps some additional anchorage. There's no reason why you can't put another strip in this direction. Because of that sideways stretch, we can still apply that in the short position, and this will still allow full range to be obtained and just to provide some additional elastic load absorption. Similarly, if you have something like a plantar fasciitis, you may want to add some additional layers in here and actually twist into a bit of inversion at the same time.